So the caption of this video is white privilege. Wait, let me remind myself. I forgot the caption of the video. White privilege explained in standard grade. I guess we're about to get educated. What is white privilege? If you don't know, this guy is I don't know him by name, but I've seen him multiple times on TikTok, on Twitter. He says some really he's really good at explaining. You know, he talks about politics. So
I wanted to ask you now, in terms of privilege, what do you define as white privilege?
Do we know? I'm not trying to guess. Do we know what is white privilege? If I had someone ask me what is white privilege, because let me see, I can think of just in the US standards. I mean, maybe I can say some stuff. I just thought of some stuff, but let me not just say them because they might skew my perspective before I say them. They might skew my perspective on the entire video. So let me watch this and I say my perspective after.
What do you think white privilege is?
A lot of people define white privilege as inheriting a 5 million rand house from the crimes against humanity during
that's also white privilege.
Apartheid, and your parents might have benefited through that. And I agree that is one example, but another example of
generational wealth is the big thing, and I feel like this is not at the same time I said generational wealth. Oh, I have so many things stuff to say. Let me just
white privilege.
You know, when I start to explain now, my thoughts are coming through, and I have a lot of things I have to explain about white privilege. But I feel like it's just
I like to use
wanted to step this
mental
video.
Privilege.
Mental privilege.
We were taught from a young age, right? I'm talking about white South Africans on a large scale, especially during apartheid. We were taught that we were superior, that we knew better, that we were God's chosen race. So we have that type of mental superiority privilege built into our head, and that is why it's important to deconstruct from that notion. And you know, I left culture and a lot of things at the age of.
But there's been a controversial video that I kind of agree with, and it's very disgusting that I agree with this. They were talking about white people generally smarter than black people in general. That's a very controversial topic, and this was a topic between a white political guy, which I'll not say his name, and the other guy. They were just asking questions, and the guy was saying white people are smarter than black people. That is a broad statement, you know. And I thought about it, and I think this guy gave a perfect example, which I kind of agree with. But let me give it to you. When he's speaking about mental privilege and whatever, it gives me to think about this, about asking if white people are generally smarter than black people. This is a very long example, but I think it's gonna be worth it. Think about this. When you think about the general society, what it is today, I think it's hard for us to disagree that it is ran by white people. Well, you can say it's because of segregation, because of apartheid, or because of slavery. I get that part, and you could be correct on that. But another example, that perfect example they gave in, is because black people are generally from Africa, right? And white people are usually from European countries. Let me use the UK for an example, from England, right? Africa is rich. You know what I mean? Is rich. We have the perfect weather. We have every animal. We have, like, it is rich in general. It is rich in resources in general. It's hard for you to plan things when you have everything. Let's go 500 years ago. Let's go 500 days ago. Black people running around Africa. We have food here. We don't have like snow, strong winters that comes where we disrupt our our climate. Our ability to feed ourselves, whether to feed our children and stuff like that. You just go there, you hunt, the fruit is here, the animal is here, we just hunt and everything is here. But if you grew up in England, let's say 500 years ago, you know what I mean? There's only a limited time period for you to be able to farm, right? And then when you farm, you need to plan ahead for the winter that is coming. Now that requires you to start thinking, okay, now I need a lot of people to come and help me to farm this place, right? And then you start farming this place. Now you start thinking, oh, there are a lot of people that I'm gonna hire. They're gonna need houses to stay in. So you start building houses for them. They're gonna have kids. Then I'm gonna have to build school for them. Now you're creating not only just a supply chain, but you're creating a society that is preparing for the worst case scenario that requires planning. I think the entire thing requires planning. You don't need to plan when everything is just here, you know. Then it goes back to black people. You know what I mean? black people, I would say, just like 500 years ago, we didn't have to plan for everything because everything was just here. God blessed us with like the perfect weather, the perfect climate. You can farm anytime. There's fruits, there's everything. You can just hunt here, you know. So I think that's where it skewed our culture in terms of it ended up making just like white people to be society driven, building a better society for, you know, for the worst case scenario, for their futures and stuff like that. As us black people, we will be just living in like in a paradise where everything is just, yeah. I don't know if I explained that part correctly, and I think just the reason why I explained that just shows how we ended up in this situation where most of the society is run by white people and not black people. But also, you know, like slavery and other stuff counts too, but you know, that could be a broader question, could be a long video.
14, you know, indoctrinations and so forth, and I've deconstructed, and that is why I believe that a lot of white South Africans, you can't just say I believe in democracy and I'm not racist. You have to deconstruct, because if you believe that you know, for example, that you have the right to sit on this bench just because you're white, that's wrong, and you have to deconstruct from that. That's one example. But yeah.
Have you found on the same point that black people and brown people and Indian people also suffer from the same mental block as the?
I mean, I feel that explanation was very likely. I expected more from that. There's another one here. Okay, let me say this. Apartheid didn't end involved to accommodate some people in the. Okay, now that would be just a separate video. I feel like this is a separate topic. I thought we were just gonna be continuing with that one, but that will be just a separate